So I want to talk about this turtle a little bit. And I caught him walking parallel with the road. He wasn't crossing the road, but he was walking down the road, up that way at that intersection, walking down towards here. And so what I think happened is we've had about 7 days of straight rain. And I think that he's from probably that pond over there, or maybe this one over here, because these water bodies are actually connected by a tunnel. And I think that as the water levels rose, he wanted to get up higher so that he could enjoy his stereotypical snapping turtle, kind of shallower water. And then as we've had a day of clarity, the water level went down a little bit, so he wanted to get back to where he was used to living. And then that brought him down the road. But unfortunate for him, there's cars. Luckily I saw him, and because I like to save the turtles, I always keep a couple things in my car at all times. I always keep my boots, and I always keep gloves, thick gloves. Now this is a common snapping turtle. He's completely natural and normal to where I live. Common snapping turtles are all over the place, from the very southern United States up to Canada, east of the Rocky Mountains. They haven't gotten west of the Rockies, only captive ones, but I'm sure he's wild. And he or she, not really sure. And this is still a young one. Pretty good health. And he's pretty dry, so I think that he was out of the water for a little bit. He was also in my car for a little bit. You know, we were having a talk, you know, about not biting me and stuff. And I did want to talk about how to safely handle a snapping turtle if you do find one. Rule number one is human safety always comes first, so only ever pull over and stop if you can do so safely. Now, with a snapping turtle, they come in all sizes. The little ones, you can just pick them up. But once they get to this size, I mean, if he couldn't take my whole finger off, he could take a digit off. I believe that he could. So that's what the gloves are for. These are pretty thick gloves. I still do not want him to bite me. Now notice that I've been holding him by one hand the whole time. Once you learn how to hold a snapping turtle, they're pretty easy to handle. On a normal turtle, I always tell, you know, my kids or kids that I educate through the Scouts about turtles, I always say hold them like a cheeseburger. But on a common snapping turtle, you do not want to do that. They have a long neck and they will reach around and bite you. So you only get about the back 40% of the shell to hold on. Now, a problem with holding on to him from the back of the shell is that he's got sharp claws. Let's see here. Let's see if he'll cooperate. I think that he knows that he's home. Let's see. So the claws on your slider type of turtles, like painted turtles, red-eared sliders, even musks, they're not that sharp. They look sharp, but a turtle's claws typically not very sharp. On a snapper turtle, different story. His claws are pretty daggone sharp. And if I was not wearing this glove, he'd be really tearing up my my hands. Now, if I don't have gloves, what I would have to do is hold him, either tuck his feet in and get over his nails, or just hold him by the back of the shell underneath, like this. You know, by the lip of the shell. Ugh, just like that. Now, some things that you do not want to do. You don't ever want to approach him from the front because he'll bite. He's a snapping turtle, not a kissing turtle, right? Nope, he won't go for it. They're not dumb. He knows that the stick is not me. And you do not, under any circumstance, want to pull the turtle or lift the turtle by his tail. So, the tail has the vertebra, has the bones that are all in his spine. And you can paralyze him, you can kill him by lifting him up, lifting up his body weight by the tail. And obviously, you're saving the turtle, you don't want to hurt the turtle. But what the tail is good for, especially on bigger snapper turtles, is stability. Because he'll wrap that tail around your hand naturally, and that's going to help you get a good handle on him. So I grab him from the back, I've got my gloves on, and how I'm holding him, I've got my thumb firmly planted on the carapace, that's the top shell, and then the undershell of the snapper turtle is called the plastron. I'm going to flip him over, don't worry, he's not going to hurt him. But look, he's only got this little bit of real estate right here, and that's where you want to put the pressure. Not too much pressure, but these two fingers are holding him here, and then my thumb holds him in the back, and I'm more like pinching him. Now, if I didn't have the gloves on, this would present a problem due to the claws. If it's a very big snapping turtle, you do this with one hand, and you use your other hand to hold him by the tail just for stability reasons. You don't want to apply any pressure to the tail at all. Now, what some people you'll see them do is they'll hold him by the neck right here. Not the neck, sorry. The nape of the shell. But did you see that? Man, he went for me. And he can reach. There's two different kinds of snapper turtles in the United States. Common snapping turtles like this one, and the alligator snapper. So the alligator snapper really cannot reach. The geese are like, what are you doing? The alligator snapper cannot reach that spot, but the common snapping turtle can. The commons have a much longer and much more flexible neck. He can get almost all the way around his shell to probably about here, to about where his hind legs are, and he can absolutely get me. You can use a stick here. He can absolutely get me right here. But I don't want to bother him with sticks. I don't want him to bite his stick. I'm not here to hurt him or mess with him too much. So, and I'll demonstrate moving him without the gloves, right? Just to show you that it is possible. And even though he's got sharp claws, right? Even though he's got sharp claws, I'm pinching him by the bottom of the carapace, and with my thumb on the bottom of the plastron and the top of the carapace. I've got him pinched. Now, he cannot reach me like this. Also, I think it's a good idea to kind of tip the turtle up a little bit vertically. It just disorients them. I feel like it makes them snap less. Now, if you're not that confident to actually pick up the turtle, because you have to be a little brave. Here's the thing, he's gonna snap at you. Now, I know where he can reach me and where he can't, so I'm not that worried about it. I'm not gonna drop him by accident. But if you're afraid that you might drop him, what I recommend you do is actually don't pick him all the way up off the ground. Just pick him up by the hind side like this, and just help him walk across like that. Just pick him up off the ground. Imagine that this is concrete or asphalt and you're trying to help him across the road in his direction of travel. Get up underneath of him where you're totally safe, and just let him walk just like that. Just pick him up just that little bit. And then that way you don't have him up hovering over a hard surface. You never want to drop a turtle. Their shells are not designed to protect them against asphalt or drops from height, really. But for me personally, I'm used to handling turtles, so I'm confident enough to pick them up like this. But you got to know that you're not going to drop them. That it would be a tragedy to drop a turtle and hurt him when you're trying to help him. So now, he came from up that intersection. I think he lives in the pond across the street, but there's a no trespassing sign. That's somebody's private pond, but that pond also connects to that pond over there, and that is where we're going to take him. Now, a couple things. One, it would really give you the warm and fuzzy feeling to know that to know that you're putting him in the right place. You should always bring a turtle in the direction that they were traveling in, which I am. And you want to put him somewhere where he's going to live. So I've got him. I'm going to grab him like this here. He knows that he's close to home. Come on, buddy. There we go. I've got him pinched by his upper shell and his lower shell, the plastron and the carapace. And that's how we're going to go. Now, on our way over, I saw this right here. That is another even larger snapper turtle. That's another one. So we've got one snapper turtle here, and you know, I can't resist. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go get him. See, this is why I bring my boots in my car. You just never know. Just never know what you're gonna get into. This guy's even bigger. Look at him. Yeah, look at that. Do you think they know each other? That's a big boy. Something I love about snapping turtles is the way that their shell is shaped like that. It's got the spikes, and then their tails have I think they're called osteoderms, which means like bony skin. Just the big old scales on the back of their tail, like dinosaur scales. Now, I do not recommend really messing with snapping turtles unless, you know, you kind of know what you're doing with them. But I'm going to put him right in that pond over there, because I believe he came from the pond over there. That's private property. So that's as close to home as I'm going to get him. And then I'm going to put him right back where I found him, right there. And I'm just going to take a couple still pictures of him, and then I'll do that. But I think it's really cool that I'm releasing him, and I feel really sure that this is good snapping turtle habitat and that it's a good place for him to go because of this guy right here. And that's a beautiful turtle. I love the colors. I love the way they look. I love that they're a little grumpy. I just love snapping turtles. Okay, so I got the couple of still pictures that I wanted to get. Now I'm just going to put the turtles back exactly where they belong, because that's what you always want to do. I'm going to pick him up. Same thing, even though it's a bigger turtle, so his jaws are bigger, more powerful, his claws are bigger and sharper. Wow, what a specimen. Love these things. I'm going to put him exactly back where I found him, which was right here. Yep, goodbye, buddy. And then this guy. Now, I could stick him over here, but I want him to have a little bit more space away from the other ones. You know, turtles are not really social animals. You might think that turtles are social animals because you see them basking together on logs or rocks, stacked up on top of each other sometimes even. But that's not really because the turtles like it. You know, they don't choose to do that really. They just all want the same thing. They want the warm rock, they want the sun, and to a turtle, another turtle is just like a rock. It's just something to climb on top of to get to the UV. So I'm going to take this guy. Oh, jeez. Oh, I walked through a spider web. I've got my nice hoodie on. I wasn't really expecting to be doing this. Now, if you do watch these videos because you're a turtle enthusiast like I am, I always recommend to keep gloves and boots in your car, just so that you can do stuff like this. So now this body of water right here, I've been here before, and it's just on the other side of the road from that big old pond. Now the roadway is raised, and then this is the little stream that leads back to where that other snapping turtle was that we just saw. So there's probably more snapping turtles all over here. I'd love to see a huge one. But I want to go home, and I'm not dressed to play in the mud. So we're just going to let this guy go. Alright, buddy. Well, good luck. I hope you don't see people again, which is, I don't know how likely that is, because this is a pretty popular park. But stay off the road, alright? I hope that every turtle that I do save from the road is just, I hope I never see him again. Alright. And he's thinking about it. I love the way that they swim, too. Turtles have the stereotype of moving slowly, but they really don't. They're just very patient. And that's it. And his camouflage works really well. Blends in with the mud bottom. And that's all. He's back home. A good day.